Unfortunately, the raid on March 25, 2009 on Emmeline's California's cannabis clinic proved to be business as usual for the DEA. Several agents stormed the building in SWAT-style gear, guns drawn, unnecessarily scaring patients and surrounding neighbors. The property of the patient members was seized. No one was arrested. No local law enforcement was present, and claimed thus far that state and local authorities were not involved in the investigation and subsequent raid on Emmeline's. The DEA claims that Emmeline is in violation of state law, but all documents remain sealed. This is how patient advocates hope you and your office will help this critical situation. Number 1, please demand a federal injunction on any further investigations, raids, arrests, seizures, or prosecutions until a new DEA administrator is in place, new policies implemented, and appropriate oversight is complete. 2, please urge U.S. Attorney General Holder to provide a clear directive to the DEA regarding this new policy and how it is to be carried out, and specifically in the states with medical cannabis laws. There needs to be clear state-federal boundaries when investigating medical cannabis facilities. This new Department of Justice policies and procedures need to be communicated with states' attorney generals. Please urge President Obama to appoint a permanent head to the Drug Enforcement Administration who will prioritize the investigative initiatives of the DEA according to the President's wishes. President Obama has stated the raids and prosecutions of state-compliant medical cannabis facilities is a waste of resources. However, the current acting administrator is not complying with statements made by our President or U.S. Attorney General. The next demand is please demand that DEA oversight and accountability. Recent actions by the DEA need to be questioned and reviewed by the House Judiciary Committee.
All right.
California has suffered hundreds of raids where all property is seized and never returned because the charges are never filed. Very few dispensary operators have been arrested, and most of those who have are people of color and or politically outspoken. Documents in Emmeline's case and any others need to be unsealed. Please demand a review of the federal current cases involving California defendants. There are some current cases involving medical cannabis dispensary operators who held local license and permits and were in good standing, who are facing dozens of federal felony charges, but were never charged by the state. Before federal authorities move forward with any of these cases, it should be determined if the collective was compliant or in violation of state law, as U.S. Attorney General implied in recent statements. Should these defendants be found in compliance with state law, then federal charges should be dropped and property returned. The next one is please demand an end to aggressively charged, potentially dangerous raids on medical cannabis facilities. Our dispensaries are being aggressively raided during the middle of the business day when patients are present. Federal agents in full riot gear use battering rams to smash through front doors. Patients are put to the floor, handcuffed, questioned, some interrogated, some threatened. During one raid, a patient who had come to the dispensary soon after chemotherapy almost had a seizure when being held at gunpoint by officers. It is only a matter of time before someone is seriously hurt. After all this, no one is arrested and patients are released to find their collective has been completely turned. All cash and medicine seized while agents inform them they can reopen in 15 minutes. Medical cannabis patients have long complained that this is terrorizing disabled and ill Americans, and it needs to end. Please do not hesitate to contact us with any questions, concerns, or comments. We look forward to your feedback and working with your office to improve the situation. We appreciate your time and consideration. Sincerely yours, DJ Coutier, President and Education Advocacy Director, Patient Advocacy Network. Shona Goknar, Executive Director, Access of Love SF, Board Member of Patient Advocacy Network. So this is what our what represented you. This is what represented you in the Speaker of the House's coalition meeting yesterday. Speaker of the House's Deputy Director, Melanie Nutter, is sending this to Washington, D.C., to the Obama administration. Her first comment was that to your first demand, a federal injunction is not needed because President Obama has executive authority to change national policy, and he did so. So I wasn't aware that he doesn't need to make another law or do an injunction on the DEA. Basically what's happened is that there's been a gap in communication, is putting it lightly, but that because the press release came out a week ago, now about a week and a half ago, from Attorney General Holder, the agent on the street has no concept that his entire world has shifted and that he is no longer paid to harass the patients in this room. He hasn't gotten the memo yet, okay? And one of the things that some of the other representatives did in the coalition is they went to the DEA office in the federal building and talked with Special Agent Casey. Special Agent Casey said that they have no interest in harassing patients, that they're only, their same shtick is they're only going after people who are violating state law and exploiting and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. When asked, are you aware of the new national policy that President Obama issued? He said no.
Wow.
This is the person who helped conduct the raid on Emmelyns.
That's crazy.
So we have a gap in understanding. So that being clear puts us a lot further ahead than we thought we were.
Yeah.
We have been appointed a point person in the House Judiciary Committee to work with. As you know, our friend Rachel King, who helped us last year and the year before and helped us get a statement from John Conyers Jr., died this year of breast cancer. She was devoted to our cause because she was a part of our cause. And medical marijuana helped her as she was passing over. So she spent a lot of time that a lot of other lawyers on the Judiciary Committee would not have spent because this touched her personally.